Hey Libra, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings. We're going to take what works. We're going to leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. If I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, check your other major placements or just it's not your week. If you haven't already, do hit that subscribe button. It helps other people find the channel and gives me a little thrill. And we're starting with an intuitive vibe from the Oracle decks, Moonology and Work Your Light, and then we're going to move to Tarot of Mystical Moments. Let's see what we have here. We have two cards upside down, and this deck needs some maintenance. Half these cards are facing different directions. I don't know how that happens. Okay. All right. It's a lot more than I wanted. Oh, I love this one. Who else got this one? It's probably my favorite card in the deck. So if you have a yes or no question, go ahead and formulate that in your mind because we have a simple answer. Oh, yeah. This is beautiful. Keepers of the earth, you are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. So maybe ancestors you knew or ancestors you didn't know. What I do want to say about that is some of us have some ancestors that are maybe not the most best people or the most pleasant people while they were alive. But I feel that when we return to source, sort of the misunderstandings, the impurities are, I want to say like burned away or something, and so their love and appreciation for you is now pure, even though in their lifetime they were maybe not able to embody a pure or healthy love. They can now from where they are now, insofar as they exist where they are now. Anyway, so you are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. So some spiritual guidance, some support. I love it. We're going all the way back here. I mean, we've got like animal guides and all sorts of, this is ancient ancestors stand beside you. I see. We've got a lot of protection from various, the elephants, the mountain lions, the various ancient souls. Okay. I feel a little uncomfortable talking about that because I'm just not 100% clear on my own beliefs on that. So, but there's the card and there's the images. So let's just keep flowing here. Pleiades, double mission, channeling, uplifting humanity. To me, this is usually about a discussion, an uplifting discussion that needs to happen, that could happen, something that's going to be very positive for both people or the group or whatever, but needing to talk about something. And these two kind of come together, balsamic moon and new moon in Scorpio. A time for healing and working through your fears. So, yeah, this could be a very healing conversation. And your fears could be laid to rest, or you could really understand what's at the root, what's at the base of those fears, what you are afraid of. It's an emotional new beginning, or a new way of viewing your emotions and your feelings. A new way of interacting with some sort of feeling, some sort of way that you feel, and a time for healing. So you're dealing with, what is it that you are afraid of? Get very specific, write it down. What are your fears? When they're vague and over there and just kind of hovering around you, that can be bigger and scarier than they need to be. So writing them out, journaling about them, really thinking very clearly about what are you afraid of and analyzing, the survivability of those things, right? And then a time for healing. So it looks like this is really saying you don't need to be afraid, and whatever has caused you fear here, you can, it's time to deal with that and heal from those wounds. And then we have yes, just say yes. I like this one. So go for it. Have that conversation, or, I mean, that conversation doesn't need to be with someone that hurt you. That conversation could be with a therapist, with a trusted friend. That's not necessarily part of whatever you're afraid of, but is part of something else. So It could be very uplifting. You could be getting support from that. You could be, just as ancestors, you could be talking to like an aunt, a grandparent, a parent. Maybe one of those people might have some guidance for you that's going to make you feel better and less afraid and less worried. And so, time for healing. All right, Libra. This is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. Oh yeah, working through your fears. Oh my goodness, indeed. That is basically your job. Your to-do list. Okay, in your recent past, 5 of Wands, there's been some kind of conflict. A test of wills. This is a chess game, so it's been pretty complicated. Some lines drawn in the sand. It's been a competition of values, of strategy. Maybe someone's been strategizing intensely, and you have felt like you're playing checkers in a chess game. But there's been a lot of strategizing, a lot of moves being made. There is some sort of like competitive, and this could all be internal. This 5 of Wands looks like internal, an internal battle, an internal debate, an internal contest or competition, internal conflict. That's the word I'm looking for. Internal conflict here. But it could also be external, around you, a lot of conflict, a lot of difficulty, strategies that have been hard to figure out, and hard to respond to. It seems like a lot of like extra thinking has had to go into a conflict. It's not been direct conflict. It's been strategizing, moving, understanding when you move into a certain place that this person or the situation was anticipating that and was already there to challenge that. So there's been some conflict. This could be internal conflict for sure, or because she's playing this game with herself basically. But I also see this as being external conflict that's required some focused energy. It's not just like external conflict going on over here. Okay, whatever that's. But this has been like, okay, draining external conflict. It's been a focus. In your current situation, you have this Ace of Wands. You have a new inspiration, a new idea. The Ace is just it's like the Ace is that first inspiration. Wands are inspiration. So it's just this like desire or intuitive hit coming in here. This is where you're at currently. This is the current situation, where there's an intuitive hit, there's an intuitive understanding, but it's just at the beginning. You may not even understand how this is going to work. It may have been a very surprising thing to get to understand and to intuit and to, and the Wands can be creativity. So you may be just getting an idea for some sort of creative project or some sort of creative solution. Oh yeah, like, because coming out of this conflict, this Ace of Wands could have a very creative solution coming in here, or just starting to grasp, what how to deal with this conflict, and just getting that initial inspiration. So it's like inspiration about inspiration, intuition, and an initial intuitive hit. What we're going to do with that, we're not 100% sure, but you're just starting to see something or understand something or get some sort of vibe here about what's going on. It's a new beginning, a new way of dealing with a situation, a new understanding, new insight, a new creative idea of how to possibly relating to this conflict, of how to deal with this conflict. And you're just starting to understand it and understand how to deal with it. In your inner landscape, we have King of Pentacles. We have this hopes, your hopes, your fears. King of Pentacles, this looks like a hopes. This could be somebody that you're thinking about, or your own future that you're hoping for. This is a very stable, financially stable person. This King of Wands has achieved something And the king, what's interesting, I think here is that, just kind of as an aside, is that we're getting an Ace of Wands, which is inspiration, the first hit of inspiration, about inspiration and creativity, the first hint of that. What we're dreaming, so that's where we're at. What we're dreaming of is manifestation about manifestation. Like the king is fully manifested, fully achieved in where he's at, where he stands. He stands in confidence in his money, in his wealth, in his abundance, in what he has achieved. It is solid. It is, I want to say permanent as much as anything can be. So here we have, sitting right next to each other, we have dreaming about dreaming, basically, or inspired ideas about inspiration. But what you really want is something concrete, is manifestation about manifestation, manifestation upon manifestation, something very concrete, very solid, a very solid success, a very solid, a serious bank account that's not going to float away. For some reason, I'm seeing it as heavy, a heavy bank account, or a heavy, or a job that's not going to disappear with the next, pandemic or something like that. Something just very solid. So you're where you're at is in this like inspiration, intuitive world that may or may not be existing, but just like seeing it, and what you're dreaming of is something a lot more solid than where you're at right now. This is your hope. And it could also be a hope for a person that thinking about someone that that is very solid financially and in their career. Oh, we're going to turn off this heater, I think, before it gets going. Someone that is very solid, someone that that's very solid in their career and very well established. What's at issue though is this reverse magician. So yes, exactly. We have this reverse magician. We have this intuition and this beautiful dream, the dream of a dream, the beginning of a dream, this beautiful intuition about intuition, and what we're hoping, what we're dreaming of. This is so, like, there's a lot of irony going on here. So in your current situation, you're dreaming about dreaming. What you're dreaming about is reality, is something solid, something real. Your fantasy is for it to be real, not for it to be up here in this fantasy world. This is reminding me of sometimes in Zoom meetings. One of my jobs involves a lot of Zoom meetings. And sometimes I just don't, it's like too out here. I want it concrete. I want to touch people. I want to feel their vibe. I want to my fantasy is reality, is a real connection, right? So something solid, something good, and it's not happening. This is why this is in your hope spheres and your fantasies is a solid thing, is because the magician card we'd be going from very quickly. The magician card would go from this card to this card, this dream of a dream, and then this like intense manifestation, physical, real, grounded manifestation. But because of the position of these cards, because this is in your dreams, your hopes, and your inner landscape and your dreams, keep dreaming, because it's not happening. It's not coming into the physical world. It's not manifesting here. There's some sort of glitch, between this and this. The journey is blocked somehow. It's not happening. We're not going from the dream of a dream to the intense, grounded, rooted reality. So that's the magician in reverse, not manifesting something. Either the tools, the raw materials aren't present, or there's the energy for that isn't present, or just the situation just isn't allowing it. It's not necessarily that anyone's doing anything wrong. It's just not coming together. It's just not coming together. Reminds me of Great British Bake Off, when they're like, they're baking a cake and the cake batter doesn't look anything like it's ever looked before. And they're going through their steps, and it's just like, I don't know. I've went through all the steps, and and this cake batter didn't turn out this time. I've never seen it have this problem before, right? So So it's not that necessarily anybody did anything wrong. It's just not happening. I mean, people might have done something wrong. I'm not going to say nobody did, but I'm just saying it's not necessary that there's like some sort of glitch that's fixable here. There's just a glitch in the system, and we can't get from Ace of Wands to this King of Pentacles that we're dreaming of. So what's in your environment? The moon. There's a lot of things you don't know and you don't understand. Oh my gosh, it is like the Great British Bake Off when they are like, I'm going back over and over my steps here and I don't see what happened. Yeah, you don't see what happened. There's things in your environment that you don't understand, that you don't see, that you don't understand. And this is in your environment card. Normally, you know, I'd be talking about subconscious issues. Someone else may be having subconscious issues, but there are things being kept from you, things that you cannot know right now, things that aren't being told to you, things that aren't being expressed to you. There's something going on with this situation that's preventing it from moving from fantasy land to well-rooted, grounded reality that you don't know anything about, that's being kept from you, that might be a little bit wild, a little bit emotional, have some deep psychological depth to it, that needs that somebody or something in your environment needs to sort through. Possibly some psychological issues, some subconscious issues, or just there's things in your environment you don't know about. Your to-do list. Look at this. You shouldn't be laughing. We should not laugh at this card. It's just very appropriate. Nine of Swords, the Nightmare card. Okay. I didn't mean to laugh at your nightmares and your fears. This is basically this card. Work through your fears. Your to-do list is to look at these things that keep you up at night. Look at your fears. Look at analyzing them in the cold light of day. Like, write down what you're afraid of. Write down, I don't know. I always like to give them a percentage chance of happening. Like, okay, yes, a meteor could crash through my house and smash me to bits and pieces. The probability of that happening, let's give that a percentage, and then I can go back to sleep, right? So this is dealing with your fears, dealing with your anxieties, looking at them. They're looking at you, so you can look at them. Look right back, and deal with your anxieties, deal with your fears. These could be very deep-rooted fears from childhood, from your formative years. Those are important years. They give you an impression of what you can expect for life. I mean, for good or bad, they give you an impression of what you can expect from life, and so we carry those impressions and those ideas with us. So this is really examining your fears. Really look at them. I'm not saying that if you look at your fears, this magician's going to suddenly start manifesting and bringing things to life. It's just, okay, well, we're here. This is the situation we find ourselves in. Let's take this opportunity to do some of our own psychological work, do some of our, heal from our anxieties, and really face our fears and really look at them and work through them and heal from some maybe less than helpful thinking, less than helpful things we might have learned from our past, really thinking through that. And then where are we going? What's the possible outcome here? I could not love this possible outcome more. Knight of Cups, a heartfelt communication. See, we're in this lotus, we've grown. Whoever's in your environment, growing possibly from their psychological issues that you may not be aware of or know about, you growing from your psychological issues. And this night is going to be about communication, about movement, about forward movement. And there she's literally playing the heartstrings. Okay, so there could be, sometimes there's some manipulation with this card, but overall I tend to see things very sincerely myself. So I tend to see it as a very sincere, let me play you something very sincere from my heart. Let me share what's in my heart, the resonating strings, the vibrating strings of my heart. I want to share that vibe with you. I want to share who I truly am, how I truly feel. This could be a love offering. This could be a discussion of love. Oh, yeah, here we have Knight of Cups, and then we have Pleiades. Uplifting conversation that's going to make you feel good. Is this with someone that is your lover forever? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe this is just a friend or a therapist or a counselor or one of your relatives, a trusted relative. Just because they have the name of aunt doesn't mean they're an aunt. Like, doesn't mean they actually occupy that role. So, but a trusted relative, like having a heartfelt conversation with somebody. Maybe it's not, you know, it could be with a variety of people, but share, and maybe even talking about your fears and talking about this healing journey that you're on and your anxieties, but sharing that with someone and having a really heartfelt conversation about that. That's where you might be going here, but where you're at, your to-do list, the opportunity you're looking for is an opportunity to heal your own fears and work through your own anxieties. That could be part of what's, it might not be, but it could be part of what's keeping something from manifesting is your own fears, needing to address them and needing to look at them. But I do want to say that, I'm just going to take the top one of these, that, you know, this magician in the reverse here it may or may not be affected by you working through your fears and healing from anxieties and fears. But it may also be. So we don't know, but we're going to take the opportunity to, you know, deal with these fears of what if this dream doesn't become reality, or what about this dream scares us the most, or what about, you know, why are we, anything about how this manifests and gets grounded. Anyway, so there's a beautiful conversation that could be coming towards you to engage in that. It could be uplifting, but you need to make sure you're coming at it not from a place of fear, but from a healed, healthy place. And then what do we have here with the wild Kuan Yin? We have grace carries you home. At the end of your efforts, when your resources are exhausted and you are without further recourse, I am there for you with loving wild grace to carry you home. Not 100% sure where we're going with that, but apparently it's home. So, all right, Libra, I hope that you have a wonderful week.